Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Can I speak?
Absolutely, you could speak. But Andrew, I'm excited again to co-host with you. And so I'm excited to welcome to the program Andrew Schatkin, and it's nationally syndicated simulcast on here on the Neil Haley Show and also on the Andrew Schatkin Show. And Andrew, I know you've been getting a lot of feedback of your YouTube so far with some of the topics we've been having on.
Well, I think these things need to be talked about because, Neil, first of all, let me say this. I have no particular dislike or prejudice against any political position. It's a free country and you can maintain any views you wish to. You're a Marxist, you're Marxist. It's legal. Or socialist. I'm personally not those things particularly. But I mean, the issue is that I raise are valid issues of the persecution of Christians, which it is a fact, Neil. I believe in dealing not with political rhetoric, not with media lies, not with political falsehoods, not with political correctness, but you might say with political incorrectness. You might
Yeah,
put it that
you're
way.
you're afraid. You're not afraid to say things that some people on the media aren't afraid to say. Even though our president kind of does say those things, other people are not. But you're kind of really giving the explanation of why. And so today's topic is illegal immigration, and you say illegal immigration in bold print.
That's right.
Why?
Well, because first of all, Neil, I want to say that President Trump was elected on the basis of dealing with a situation where the society was failing to address these problems on a truth and honest basis. That's why he was elected. Because on these issues, which I've talked about, he was willing to deal with them on some level. The media is, I think, you think it's fair to say the media tilts to the left.
Well, they
I think
definitely
that's,
do.
yeah. And so as a result is you don't hear anything about Christian persecution, or you don't, if it was Islamic persecution or Black Lives Matter, you'd hear plenty about it, Neil. Believe me, you'd hear plenty about it. But you hear about George Floyd and Black
Right.
Lives Matter, and I believe they do matter. I mean, I'm deeply disturbed at the death of any human being.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that the media will deal with Black Lives Matter, get very excited. They will talk about undocumented immigrants and the injustices connected with their lives and talk quite a bit about those things, but they don't talk about Christian persecution. And I had previously talked about all religions are the same. I didn't think they are particularly. I have nothing against other religions, Neil. I just don't think they're the same.
Right.
I
So,
think
so
it's
Andrew, kind of taking the topic today, illegal
okay.
immigration.
This is
Yeah.
why I'm doing this. First of all, the left has manipulated and, if you will, fooled large numbers of people by the use of the term undocumented. That's not the issue, Neil. The issue the president is correctly dealing with is the issue of people illegally coming to this country, staying here, getting benefits, getting medical care, getting into our educational system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm a clear thinking person, Neil, and so are you. And so is everybody listening to this broadcast. And the fact of the matter is that they're violating the law. Not only are people who are coming here illegally violating the law, but with all due respect to these people, I have no dislike of them or prejudice. But the fact of the matter is they know they're violating the law. They know they're manipulating the system to come here legally. Sometimes they get married or not married and have kids so they can establish a legal residence. They're not fooling me, Neil. They're not fooling anybody. You come here illegally, you're violating the law. And by the same token, if I don't pay my taxes, Neil, I take the consequences.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. It's not unfair. It's not mean. The president has been painted on this basis as a sadist, a mean guy. He's not. Also, the left, another term they use, they will refer to it as an immigration issue. There are legal avenues to come here, Neil. They're fully available. Therefore, a person who chooses to use illegal avenues is not only violating the law, but they are making fools of our entire society from top to bottom, and being told that they are being pushed around or something, or unjustly treated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not so. Any more than I would be unjustly treated if I didn't show up for a job uh, and didn't do the work,
Right.
and I would be fired. And again, if I didn't pay my taxes, I know very well the operation of the IRS, and so do you, Neil. You know they will take every last cent you have.
Yes.
Correct? That true?
Yes, absolutely true.
It is. So I mean, that's the way it is. So the president is not a sadist. He is not a bad guy. He has a duty. He has a duty to enforce. First of all, enforce the law. He is an enforcer of the immigration law. That's his job, Neil, isn't it?
Yes.
And I don't think anybody should object to that. Him doing his work. You do your work on this show.
Right.
I'm doing my part. He's doing his part. And also he is correctly dealing with a situation where we cannot have our borders compromised.
No.
No country can operate on people coming here and saying they illegally, use the term illegal, it's not undocumented. Undocumented, it's a cover, it's a political term, Neil. It's a cover political term to cover what is a illegal action on the part of people doing this. I have nothing against them, but unfortunately, we cannot operate a society where people just walk in here. Can we?
No.
I mean, anybody just walk in here? I ask you, Neil, that when in the past, when people came here through Rikers Island, there was a process. They came here legally, didn't they?
Correct.
There was no question of them acquiring legal status coming here illegally. I think they had to take an exam. I'm not sure how it worked. They had taken, they were tested. I think they had to pass an English test in there or something.
Right.
And they were tested on the Constitution. And they came here through great difficulty on storage on boats or something. Right. Sacrificed a lot to come here, came here, worked, and paid their taxes and did what people are supposed to do in our system. I don't think he's asking too much to come here legally. No, is that asking too much?
No, but see, the hardest part, I think, is the fact that other countries in the world have their borders open as well.
They do. That's the issue. I was told by a woman I knew that went to Africa, and she told me the process of going to another African country is humongous. Wow. They are so anxious to keep their borders intact that they made it very difficult for her to cross the border to another country. I think I don't know if it's true of European countries. Do they maintain their borders?
Not a lot of them. Not a lot in the EU, except maybe the Visegrad nations. Most of them don't take care of their borders, so they allow people to come through and illegally.
Well, is that a left-wing position of some kind?
Well, it's the leftists in Europe as well, parts of Europe, and that's what I think they want the country to become.
Well, they are also, there's another factor about undocumented immigration. First of all, as I say, the left, I have nothing against left-wing people. There's aspects of it that I agree with in terms of having concern for poverty and underclass people. So there's aspects of the left wing that I'm in agreement with. Mm-hmm. And so I have nothing against them, but I disagree with them on this issue. And really, there's another issue. The left will confuse our dear college students.
Right.
Saying that, and they're good kids. They're sponging up what their professors tell them. That's fine. Look, they have the job. The professors they have PhDs or something, or they're qualified people. But they try to tell these kids that people who come here illegally have the right to do it. And that's an absurd position, isn't it?
It's absurd, and it's crazy, and who knows where we're going next, Andrew, in this process. It's
Well,
like,
the president has tried to take charge of this issue. I think he's deported people. Has he
yeah,
engaged
he
in?
has, and the whole Democratic National Convention is attacking Trump for doing that,
How?
for bringing them home. They really want the borders to be open and everyone to be American citizens.
Do you have an explanation, Neil, as to why a person would want people to come here illegally? I mean, do you have? There's people. First of all, people who are legally here need jobs. The left says some people say that they fill jobs for people. That's nonsense. There's people who are legally right now out of work that would grab any of those jobs to have some income.
Right. And
That is a law.
they would work crazy hours. They would not follow any of the protocol just to make money.
Right.
That it's going to cause somebody who's a working person in the United States that is an American citizen not to get that job because that worker will work for
Aren't there
less
plenty
and
of
work harder.
American citizens that may not have a great deal of money
Right. That
and they need those jobs?
they need those jobs.
And they're going to take those jobs if they can get them.
Right.
So their position that they need those illegals in those jobs is nonsense because they are taking those jobs from our dear American citizens who, and there's plenty of poor legal people in this country. They're in Brooklyn, they're in the Bronx, they're in Pennsylvania, they're in rural Iowa, they're in the southern states. The southern states have, look, I have friends in the southern states. I have no issue with people in the South.
Right.
Very nice people. But there's a lot of poor people in the South.
Yeah.
A lot.
Because there's no jobs.
There's no jobs. It has traditionally been rural. Maybe it's not anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's not a place where there's a lot of big cities in the South. I don't think so. That's
Well, I think, Andrew, what you're saying in legal immigration is that if they don't come in legally, you're going to denounce it as wrong.
Well, I think they know it's wrong.
But see, the moral compass of what's right and wrong has been completely blurred by this new agenda. And this agenda is winning. And I've talked to other people say it's not true. I say there's no way that President Trump wins in November. Maybe I'm crazy to think that. I think that unless certain things turn out the way President Trump needs them to turn out, there's no way he wins.
Well, there's also another factor about illegal immigration. This is speculation. I can't prove it, Neil. But the Democrats, for some time, have not been winning elections. A lot of state legislatures and governors are no longer Democrats, the majority. And the Senate has a Republican majority, and the House of Representatives just recently had a Republican majority. I believe the Democrats need these votes to get back into power.
So we're going to find out, Andrew. Great conversation on illegal immigration. Where can we find information on you? Do you have a website?
Please, yes, I have a website. I have written on this. I have published blogs on this issue. They're all available on Schatkin Show, SCHATKIN show.com. I believe that all I'm saying, Neil, I have no hate in me. I have no hostility against any human being, but I believe that we should take honest positions about the facts. The facts are these people are coming here, manipulating our system.
Yes.
Saying they have the right to be here legally. That is outright manipulation.
And so that's where the moral truth comes. At the end of this, as it's your show, I'm going as the moderator, just asking questions. We have to see for ourselves what is the right and what is the wrong. Moral relativism is becoming far reaching than I ever experienced when I learned about what moral relativism
if that were so, if what they're saying is so, why do we have laws?
Don't know. So a lawless country in the United, and so we could have that conversation next in one of your next shows or one of your next topics.
You want 10 million people floating around this country illegally? I know that's absurd.
Well, and we'll have to see. Well, Andrew, again, great show. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, share, put it all out there. And then if you're listening on the radio, again, make sure you check him out. So appreciate it, Andrew.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got one last word. Let's be honest, please. I believe in intellectual honesty and not manipulation and lies. I'm afraid I can't go along with that.
Okay, Andrew, take care.
Right, bye.